Hi, I'm Judith, and I'm from hisunmeasuredgrace.com, my blog where I write for you. And that is where I am encouraging you to live the real mom life with hope and grace. And we're journaling through James, and that's where we're discovering how you can have grace for the imperfections of mom life. And mom life can be really great, but sometimes it can really be hard. And we can have trials and things that are hard. And that's what we're looking at today. And as we go through James, because James is a great book for a mom. It helps you to face the trials you have and have a godly response to them. And so I'm going to start off by reading to you from James 1, verse 9 through 12. And then I'm going to emphasize and really spend most of the time on verse 12. So, let the lowly brother boast in his exaltation, and the rich in his humiliation, which is kind of opposite, where the lowly person is usually the humble one, but this verse is saying that they're going to be exalted or lifted up, where the rich in his humiliation, and rich people usually are known for pride, they're going to be humiliated, because like a flower of the grass, he will pass away. For the sun rises with its scorching heat and withers the grass. Its flower falls, and its beauty perishes. So also will the rich man fade away in the midst of his pursuits. So if you go through a field and you're walking through a field, the flowers sometimes at certain times of the year in the spring can be absolutely beautiful. If you just look at one flower, they're just gorgeous and detail on them and everything. Well, the rich person, this passage explained, is kind of like that, where the rich person, probably wears best clothes and just, pride is just full of them in them. And what happens when they pass away, or else they just fade off the scene for one reason or another, that they fade away just like the flower that dies in the field. And then we come to the verse 12 that I'm going to be emphasizing today. Blessed is the man who remains steadfast under trial, for when he has stood the test, he will receive the crown of life which God has promised to those who love him. I love that. Okay? And you never have trials, right? If you really don't, you don't need this video. So you can just, click out of it, go watch another YouTube. And if you're like me, you have trials, and maybe I hope that this will bless you and encourage you. And, I lived a really real mom life. I had a bunch of kids, and life in a picture would look really nice and look like we had everything together. But in reality, we often didn't, probably more so than not. And most of the time, the one that wasn't together was me. And things were hard. And I just could have used a lot of encouragement. So that's what I want to do for you. And that's my whole, just a passion I have, is to encourage younger moms than what I am, and other moms, or even grandmas, because we're side by side and we've gone through a lot. And yet sometimes one or the other of us can be discouraged, and we need to be encouraged. So trials are your way of growing in grace. And what happens during a trial, if you're a believer and you're really putting your faith in Jesus, that he upholds you. And through a trial, you increase in wisdom and faith and spiritual maturity. And when you get to the other side, oh man, it can be just so much better. And just all the things you've learned, you're a stronger person. And a lot of times you're not the person you were, several years before, or before the trial. And, that's referring to big trials. But, today my trial was small, but it was significant. I was cold. We had 2 very unseasonably warm days where it got up to 60 degrees, and I fully adjusted. And then now today, I don't think it's that cold of a day, but in comparison, it's much colder. So I just had chills and I couldn't get warm. I drank a cup of tea this morning, and then I succumbed to this much coffee and that much hot chocolate. And that may not be the healthiest thing to do, but that's how I faced my trial. But when Jesus is the one you're looking to, it's just like he just works through that situation, and you can't learn what you learn through that trial any other way. It's just the way it is. So, sorry, I do have notes. So what's the difference between being tested and being tempted? And I hope I do justice explaining it. The word for trial, that's a Greek word. I don't remember what it is, but I do remember that it's the same word that's used for tested and tempted in English. And God can't be tempted with evil. It says that. And you go back to those verses and it says that. So he can't be tempted. But he's not trying to tempt you. I mean, there will be things that maybe you're tempted to have a piece of candy and you really shouldn't, or you're tempted to do something wrong, maybe seriously wrong. And but that's Satan tempting you. That's not God. God tests you. And he puts you through a test to see where you are at in your faith with him and to help you grow your faith in him. And it produces steadfastness. And in that verse, it says, let me get it again. It uses the word steadfast. In fact, if you read that passage, steadfast is used like the first 18 verses of First James chapter 1. It's used several times, but it says, "Blessed is the man who remains steadfast under trial." That's the kind of person I want to be. And back to when I was raising my kids, there were often, for some reason, the day before I had something really difficult happen with my kids, for some reason, one reason or another, I would be like a mess. And I'd be weak, feeling weak, weak emotionally. And then crying and everything, and just having a teary day. But the next day, and I know this is a pattern, but I never got the reasons for the pattern connected with the dots. I just never did. But the next day, when I really was faced with the trial, I was steadfast and I stood strong. And I don't mean strong against my kids. I don't mean that way at all. I meant in Jesus, that he would see me through and see the situation through. And I saw the day before, when I was feeling weak emotionally, as a day when God prepared me. And where that weakness was, that was who I was. I was weak. Like trials make me feel weak. When the actual situation would occur, sometimes my knees felt weak, and I just felt faint. But you know what? God made me strong and made me have that inner strength to deal with the situation and deal with it the best I could in a way that he wanted me to deal with it. And so trials are a way of testing your faith, helping your faith grow, help you learn to be more filled with more steadfastness. And I love that word. And it says to let steadfastness have its full effect. So you want to allow God to help you to be steadfast. We can't do any of this on our own, even standing still in God's presence to be steadfast. It just doesn't happen on our own. If we tried, it may not come out right. So anyway, this is the whole thing, that you will be perfect and complete, lacking nothing. And I don't think it's talking about physical things, because no, I don't lack a whole lot. I'm trying to thin out what I do have. And a lot of people would think my house isn't cluttered and I still have too much. And, but no, it means complete and lacking nothing of Jesus and the Holy Spirit, and him giving me the ability to get through my trials to make me perfect, not with sinless perfection, but perfect in Jesus, that Jesus gives me his perfection to live through the situation. So one of the things we do on Facebook in our group is to Bible journal. Now, I never did color at all until I was grown up. So that's what I did. I think it's backwards. And as I'm going through James, I'm highlighting the book. This is an interleaved Bible. Whoops, that's the back side though. It's really nice. And this is a soft cover. I love it. And every other page, you have one page of the text and you have the other page that you can color or paint on. And that is really like wonderful and just really challenging to me to have that much space because I've been used to the 2 inches in most of my journaling Bibles. So I hope you join Jesus Journaling. It's on Facebook. So you just, on Facebook, you type in Jesus Journaling and it should bring it up and then you choose it. And my name is Judith Coles, and you can go to my blog, hisunmeasuredgrace.com. You'll find the link below in the description box. You'll find the some of my journals below in the description box. I will link. This one is where I have I'm filling it out. It's in color. It's this top is pretty because it's in color. I print in black and white, but you have different categories to help prompt you as to what to do in these sections. This one, I write out the scripture. I like to write out, you may only write 1 or 2 verses, that's fine. And it is also according to your season and what you have to do in your life. This is observation journaling, application journaling, and prayer journaling. This is the SOAP method. I've just given them titles that, because the SOAP method isn't a copyrighted thing, I've given them names that go along with Bible journaling because I love to do that. So on my blog, I write about all kinds of things that will be helpful to moms. And I do have Bible study type of things and devotionals and share some of my Bible journaling art and how to Bible journal art, do Bible journaling art, but I'm also including some things on weight loss and other areas that moms face. Because let's face it, we struggle, and I have struggled with my weight some, and just getting, I know the weight that I feel most comfortable with. But you may have 25 pounds to lose, you may have more. And there's a thing coming up soon that's the membership is open. I support, and I hope you will look into what it is. It's Faithful Finish Lines. And I just hope that you subscribe, hit the subscribe button below, and listen to some of the other videos that I have on YouTube. So thanks for joining me. Bye.